Ever wonder about that medicine in your cabinet? Well, it went on an incredible global journey to get there, and its fate was decided by some of the world's most powerful gatekeepers. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how health agencies from the US to Europe to India decide which drugs get the green light.
And get this isn't some crazy hypothetical question. It's the reality in the pharmaceutical world every single day. And this question, it gets right to the heart of why you absolutely need to understand these different regulatory systems. The answer can literally impact millions of lives and billions of dollars.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at how one drug can have totally different outcomes. Then, we'll meet the global gatekeepers making those calls. After that, we'll dive into how they're all trying to get on the same page. And finally, we'll zoom in on the most important part of this whole story, the patient.
Okay, so before we unpack all the ways these agencies are different, it's really crucial to understand the one thing they all have in common. What is their fundamental mission? At their core, every single one of these organizations is built on this foundation. They are the guardians. They're tasked with making absolutely sure that any medicine you might take is safe, that it actually works, and that it's made to the highest possible standards. Now, how they get there can vary a lot, but this mission, it's universal. Now, let's meet our gatekeepers. We're going to focus on three global heavyweights: the FDA in the US, the EMA in Europe, and the CDSCO in India. Each one has its own completely unique way of approving medicine.
So, first up, we've got the US Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. It's pretty widely considered the global gold standard, and not just because its process is so tough, but because its decisions often create ripples, influencing regulators all over the world.
And this just shows you their process perfectly. It all starts with an initial application just to get permission to start human trials. From there, it moves through three really distinct phases of clinical testing. If all that data looks promising, a massive application gets submitted for review, and finally, the FDA actually goes out and inspects the manufacturing sites and pores over every single word on the label. It's a very structured, very methodical journey.
So this really reveals the big trade-off of the FDA's system. All of that rigor, it gives the public incredible confidence, and they even have faster pathways for really urgent needs. But that same rigor means the process can be incredibly expensive, and for a standard review, it can take a really, really long time. Okay, now let's hop across the Atlantic to the European Medicines Agency, or EMA. It has a totally unique challenge. How do you create one single approval pathway for the entire European Union?
Well, the EMA structure is pretty unique. A company submits one application, the MAA, and then it's evaluated by scientific committees made up of experts from all the member states. If they give a positive opinion, that leads to a final approval from the European Commission that's valid across the whole EU. It's basically one-stop shopping for market access.
So the power of the EMA is obvious, right? One application gets you into this massive market. But the flip side is complexity. I mean, trying to coordinate among dozens of countries and get everyone to agree on something, well, that can naturally take more time and involve way more logistical hurdles than a single country system.
Our third gatekeeper operates in a country that's often called the pharmacy of the world. We're talking about India's Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, or CDSCO.
The CDSCO really wears a lot of hats. It doesn't just manage clinical trials and new drug approvals for India. It also sometimes requires local data to make sure a drug works for its specific population. And this is crucial. It has a very strong focus on generic drugs, which is central to India's mission of providing affordable medicine to its own people and to the rest of the world. This system is just incredibly cost-effective, and it's a global powerhouse when it comes to producing generics. It's growing and aligning with global standards at a lightning pace. The challenges, though, are in continuing to build out its safety systems after a drug is on the market and in creating more predictable, consistent timelines for reviews. This table just sums it all up beautifully. You can really see the different priorities when you look at that last row. For the FDA, it's all about innovation and strictness. For the EMA, it's about harmonization, getting everyone on the same page. And for the CDSCO, it's about accessibility and affordability. These core philosophies, they drive everything these agencies do. So after seeing all those differences, you might think these agencies just operate in their own separate universes, right? But actually, there's a huge push to get them all on the same page, a concept known as harmonization.
And that's where organizations like the International Council for Harmonization, or ICH, come in.
Their whole goal is to create common standards so that data and documents look the same no matter where you submit them. This allows a drug company to create one core package that can be used in multiple regions, which you can imagine is a massive boost for efficiency.
And look, this isn't just theory. Understanding these systems and this big push to harmonize them is a critical skill. It directly impacts how global strategies get designed, how super costly delays are avoided, and it opens up some incredible career opportunities in this field. It really does matter.
Okay, finally, let's look to the future. Because there's this really powerful trend that is fundamentally changing how all of these agencies operate.
And that trend is this major shift toward patient-centric regulation. It's no longer just about clean data from a perfect, controlled clinical trial. Regulators are now looking more and more at real-world evidence from actual patients, they're being more transparent about their decisions, and they're evaluating a drug's benefits and risks from the patient's point of view.
Which leaves us with this final, really important question. This patient-centric shift, it's not a small tweak, it's a fundamental change in philosophy. It is set to completely redefine how we evaluate and approve the medicines of the future, turning the focus away from just the molecule and onto the person it's actually meant to help.